You and Elle, it sounds like she played a huge part in sort of pulling you through that. You guys have known each other from school. I understand you've
Yeah,
now been building this business together. You probably spent more time together than maybe
with
almost with
my
your family
husband.
sometimes.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's interesting with some of the challenges with the early stage business. Maybe if you want to talk me through some of the more business related challenges. And look, if there's any other challenges, obviously the family is a huge part of it. But if you want to talk me maybe through some of the challenges in the early stages as you were growing, and even now as you guys continue to grow, some of the key challenges that might be useful to share, and also how you overcame those.
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, starting a business, getting leads really. And so Elle had a marketing background. So she got all the systems set up. She also had like business degree. So she knew how to like, all the accounting and then the website, all that sort of back end stuff. Because running a broking business, like maybe 10% of it is writing loans, 90% is running the business, staffing, getting leads in, marketing. Like there's so much more to it. She was critical with all of that side of things. Like I had all the lending experience and she had everything else. But I think a lot of brokers go out on their own and they don't have an Elle to create a website or like do the whole process. Like she's still now to this day, she's like, she's just forever refining it to make it better and better and better and better. And like, I wouldn't know how to do that. Like that's not my area of expertise. She's a detail background, loves spreadsheets, whereas I'm sort of like sales. I love going out, doing this sort of thing, getting leads in the door. Like I'd quite happily not write loans, but I have to. But yeah, that side of things, I think a lot of brokers probably don't realize how much goes into that side of the business. And then just balancing staffing and growing, it's sort of like just a constant juggling act because as you probably know, like the commissions can be, you might have an amazing month and then you have a not so amazing month. And especially in the early days, the pipeline is lumpy. Like it just takes time to really have a really solid, consistent settlements. And then with that comes, if you hire 3 people, then you have a slow month. Like I always feel like I know everything's going to be fine. Like we've operated for 8 years. We've never not covered our costs. Whereas Elle's a bit like more cautious. So she's like, if it was up to me, I would probably grow the team even further today, knowing the return on investment of bringing on another loan writer, for example. Elle keeps herself up at night going, like another salary or another 2 salaries, and then we have to do this. And what if we have a slow month? That balancing act. But I think having staff and outsourcing every part of the process that is not writing loans is where we've sort of landed. And we both hit full-blown burnout. I think it was it was after we had these 2 third children at the same time. So we had our third children 10 weeks apart. And then our only staff member had her first child a couple of months later. So all 3 of us had babies at the same time. And that's when we hit burnout because we had to keep going. Like the kids are in the office, they're in the baby carriers, like we're working late nights. We put on 2 more people at the time, but they were green. So in hindsight, they're amazing now because they're a few years in, but we didn't have time to train them properly. We didn't have process documents. We didn't have training programs. Like we just brought them in and just throwing things at them with no structure. So we were settling a lot at that point, but we were dead on the inside just from how busy we were. So we actually engaged a mentor and that was the critical turning point where we figured everything out. So gradually, slowly, we're still working with her, Nancy, 3-4 years later. She just helped us to figure it all out and to structure it all and have all this background, organization charts and role descriptions and like itemize the process so everyone knows what they're doing and just sort of break it down, outsource what we could to contractors. And that the burnout, I think, is a massive issue for brokers because a lot of brokers try and do it all themselves and you physically cannot. It's such a hard job. Like just, I don't know, you can't, especially as your pipeline grows, like we might have hundreds of deals in our pipeline and every team member has their role now. Every part of the process goes to every person that's meant to go to. So Elle and I ideally now are meeting the client, preparing the strategy and then handing it over. So we still know where everything's at, but I think when brokers get to the point where they've got the business established and they're getting leads in,
Yes.
they will burn out. Like almost anyone will,
Mm.
unless they start staffing
Yeah.
up
Yep.
and training up properly. Yeah.
Because it's so hard to manage. You're kind of hunting out for leads. You're trying to bring the leads in, then you get them, and then you've got to switch and process them. And then in the meantime, you drop the ball with getting the new leads through and the clients, and it's trying to. And
It's
you're
just
gonna
a constant balancing act, and that I think is probably the biggest. Like if you talk to any broker, it's either we've got not enough leads, or we've got too many leads and we don't have a team to process it. But I think the staffing thing, like investing in good staff, is critical to growing. Like you cannot do it all. You can't. And if you try to, you'll burn out. So I think it's such an issue. Burnout is so across the board when I speak to people.
Yes.
That's commonly what everyone's experiencing.
And on that point, it sounded like the key turning point was finding and starting to work with that mentor. I guess for brokers out there who are maybe in a position where they're at that burnout stage or feel like they're coming towards it, they're running around like a headless chicken. Is there any advice you can give them around how to find a good mentor?
We interviewed a couple. I mean, there's a few good ones out there. I mean, Nancy, obviously, I think she's a little bit booked out because we just talk about her all the time. So, but Ben White, he's an ex-broker and he's just started doing it and he's got so much, he's probably similar, like different personality to Nancy, but similar skill set and abilities. He's very, very good. We interviewed someone outside of the industry and it was just not a good fit. And I think having someone with broking experience is critical. And it's probably a bit of a gap in the market there. Like, I don't think there is a lot of mentors out there, but they're not cheap either. You've got to be established. You have to be in a position where you can afford to. And then alternatively to that, we just tell people just reach out to other brokers. Like we have spoken and had time with so many brokers over the years where we just say, can we just pick your brain for an hour? And then everyone will have something to give you to help you. And that's the good thing about this industry is that no one has ever said, I don't have time for you. Like so many of them, like even the busiest of busy, like Daniel Pym runs loan market in Double Bay and he's, I don't even know what sort of volume, like stupid amounts of volume. And he came out, like he's that old friend of ours, like he came out to our office a few years in and just gave us all of his intel and tips on how to do it better, like that sort of thing. No one will ever say no. Like we would never either. Like we've had people contact us to try and get some advice on getting through the burnout thing. And we've learned so much through Nancy. She's like, stop giving out all all of my information for free. I just think you've got to ask for help. Someone will always have a solution to your problem. If they're a few years ahead of you, someone will always have something for you, but you've just got to ask.
And I think that's one of the great things about this industry. I think generally brokers in the industry are giving, and surprisingly the ones that have gone far and like you said are probably quite busy and they've achieved a lot. And if you don't ask, you don't get. So reaching out to those
100%.
people, you're generally gonna hopefully get a positive response and get some time with them, and you're going to learn, like you say, from everyone and learn different things. I think some of the other challenges that I hear from brokers as they grow is moving from the kind of one man band, one woman band to hiring their first, second, third. And one is like, is there any tips maybe you have on how to find the right talent, interviewing to get the right people on board? But also I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on onshore versus offshore stuff.
So we have both. We've decided that all our customer facing roles will be here. And that's just personal preference. I know a lot of brokers will have overseas, but we've just decided to keep that onshore. We have overseas, we have someone doing just credit and helping with product comparisons and assessing incomes and that sort of thing. So she's in Nepal. And then we have two sisters in the Philippines who do admin and like just so much. Like they do AOL, they do all the apps, basically repricing the existing book every 6 months. We reprice the existing book. So those girls, they do so much. And then onshore we have Danny, who's my sister-in-law, actually my husband's sister. So she was our first team member. She's been with us for 5 years now. And she manages the overseas admin and she checks all the apps and then basically just deals with the entire pipeline. We're in the process of shuffling these roles because they've started to feel a little bit imbalanced. But Charlotte is in the office, and she now, like, she's really, really good on the phone. So she'll call all the new leads, she'll book in appointments, she'll do settlement phone calls, she'll follow up, the 100 inquiries that we've had over the years that haven't gone anywhere, and just keep that sort of customer
nurturing
sort of thing. So that's what we've got her doing at the moment. And then we recently acquired someone from marketing, Amelia, who has been amazing. Our marketing, social media has just gone up a notch. I don't know if you follow us, but she's just so, so good. In terms of interview process, like, we probably didn't do it that well. Like, we have become lucky, I think, with who we've landed with. So Danny, my sister-in-law, had a background in hospitality, but she just moved back from England and was looking to sort of start a new career, and same sort of thing with Elle. I'm like, why don't you just come and do some casual hours? And she started doing like 12 hours a week, and within a few months was full-time and had to quit her other jobs. She's amazing now. Like, she's sort of looking to go into more of a loan writing role. She's very capable. And then Charlotte, she had experience in finance, but what we loved about her when we interviewed a few people was her personality, and her values, the way she came across with clients. And we wanted someone who could speak to our clients the same way that we would. Even though her lending experience was probably a bit green, she has been invaluable for us just because of her personality and her ability to make beautiful relationships with people. Like, you hear her on the phone and she's getting into all sorts of like personal topics and infertility, and like she just connects on a really, really deep level, which I think is just so amazing. And like, if you look through all our Google reviews, it's not just me and Elle. Like, they talk about Danny and they talk about Charlotte equally as much as they talk about us. So they, like, really, we have hired on those values. The only person we really put through a proper interview process, because we've learned a lot, is Amelia in marketing. So we interviewed maybe like 10 people for that role. And, you just get a feeling like when someone's the right person. And I got it with her. Elle got it with her. Danny heard us on the interview. She's like, that's the one. And she has just fit in with our team. Like, she's been there forever. And she's just so clever and talented. Like, I have brokers calling me now, like every week or two, saying, who's doing your marketing now? I'm like, you can't have her.
She's ours.
But it's not a role most companies would think of hiring for, I don't think. But as an example, the website clicks before she started for the month were like 700. And the most recent month was nearly 4,000. Just from what she's doing. Like, she's doing so much stuff. So she'll just lock away a day or an afternoon to film different bits and pieces of us. And then, she does mail outs. She's doing, like, she's really like nurturing the database. Like, we've never touched that database. And in the last sort of 8 years, we've done really not much at all. But she's doing like, monthly mail outs and blog posts, and amazing, like worth every penny. So I think that is a role we might see some other businesses employing for in the coming months, in the coming years, I should say. But it's not something you would think about hiring for. We always wanted to do it. It always felt like a bit of a luxury. And now that we've done it, we're like, why didn't we do this sooner?
Do it earlier.
Because even if her 3,000 website clicks brings us 5 leads, like, that's covering her cost and more. So it's just such a good, valuable role. You just got to get the right person. She just nails it. She's amazing.
Amazing. I want to talk a little bit about your client base, sort of, I guess, who are your typical clients, and, what are the type of finance that you guys generally help them with?
So we have 2 companies, and it's not actually widely known yet. So Two Birds, One Loan, typical client is like myself, like a family might have a home loan or a first home buyer or an investment property or 2. And, the average loan size might be 600,000-700,000, often based out in the hills, but we're working all over the country. But typically that's our client as Two Birds client. But we've recently started a company with a doctor. So we've all got the shareholding, the 3 of us in this company. And this doctor started a group called Investing for Doctors, 30,000 members of the group. They're all doctors and dentists, specialists, So we now, in partnership with him, are the lending partner for that group. So we now deal with that whole medico space, which is much different beast to what we've been working with through our company.
Yeah.
It's been so good though. Like we've learned so much, and there's all these like secret medico teams that do really crazy policies that the average person wouldn't know about.
Okay.
Even like there's one bank has a medico team and their home loan team has no idea of the policies they can do through medico.
Okay.
So like annualizing a BAS when someone has started a sole trader, for example, 3 months ago and has one BAS statement, this bank will annualize that. And the home loan team are like, oh no, we can't do that. I'm like, you can though.
Yeah.
So the other people in your bank, like they don't know. And most brokers wouldn't know. It's sort of like this, secret sort of teams. I don't know they're meaning for it to be secret, but I just think the average person would not even know that that's available for a doctor.
Yeah.
Like this bank turned away a doctor in a branch. He went to the branch and said, I want to get a loan. And they're like, oh no, you've got to wait till you've got 18 months on your ABN.
Wow.
And he came to me. I'm like, no, we can do that through the medico team. And we did. We're about to do another one for him. Yeah, so it's interesting. But yeah, that's been a whole different world. Like the medical stuff is just phenomenal. Yeah. It's just high net worth, it's buying in trusts and a bit more commercial. Yeah, all sorts of different things.
So more complex.
Yeah, more complex stuff.
Yeah. So you do the resi mortgages at the moment. I believe you also do a bit of commercial business finance.
Yeah, we do. And like we don't get a lot in that space, but we are seeing more, especially through medico. Yeah. So I find it a bit challenging because where the customer's based depends on where we have to go to the business banking teams. So, we're having to make new friends in every state with every bank.
Okay.
And then they're like, well, I only do with up to 1.5. This guy does up to 3. This guy does up to 5. Like, it's just a whole new space, which you would know about. You've probably got I should call you for the contact. But yeah, that's sort of hard. And not all the business bankers are that good. Like, I'd much rather have one point of contact at each bank, but it doesn't work like that.
Okay.
So yeah, we're doing a bit more in that space. Yeah, stuff that's just wildly different to what we've done in the past. So yeah,
learning
it's been
curve.
fun. Yeah, it has been.
And I guess on that point, we've worked together for probably a couple of years now. How does, I guess, the partnership with Valiant sort of help support your business?
It's good to have, like, where we come to you is when we get a commercial scenario where I think, is this even doable? Like, because commercial's not our strength. It's not my background at all. So, it's just a learning curve. So, but yeah, there are some deals where I just think, I wouldn't even know where to go with that. And you guys have picked those up. And I think in the past, we've done a bit of cash flow sort of stuff with you.
Yes.
And that's where we've seen where we would come over to you. Just recently, I had one where the guy was like, I've just quit my job and I want to buy a business, but I need the income from that business to service. And I was like, well, this is outside of what, I wouldn't even know which lenders. So whereas you guys have like this whole panel of policies that we wouldn't even have access to. So yeah, Francis has done that one and he's just got that approved.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, but it's good. But yeah, I sort of, the interest rate on it is quite high, but sometimes we don't have a choice. Like sometimes the customer, if you want to do it, it's a stepping stone. And I said to him, after 18 months of him owning that business, we can put him into a normal term loan because he does have a property with some equity. And Francis is like, that's absolutely fine. There wasn't any early exit fees and things like that. So yeah, it just feels like an extension of our business with commercial specialists with the really sort of stuff that is not our bread and butter.
Yeah, got it. And that's great. I'm glad we got him approved on that one. And look, you're right. We work with a lot of brokers where they got a core part of their business and they love doing that and they do it really well. And there's the mix. Some brokers enjoy getting into other parts of it, but others is like, these are what we do best. We want to stick to that, maybe partner with Valiant for everything else outside of the book, etc. So glad we could help on that one.
Yeah, no, it's good to have. And it's just so helpful having someone like you to have as a point of contact. Like I said, at the banks, we don't have that because we have to go interstate and, WA I'm dealing with, and they're now 3 or 4 hours behind us.
Yes.
When we used to work with Valiant, we had a really good relationship with Declan, who I
Declan,
mentioned.
yes.
And when he was here, it was the same sort of thing. Like, but you sort of filled that space because there was a period of time there where I was like, I don't even know who to call and I don't have a contact anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, having you and having Declan has sort of helped us to think about you more and just have someone to contact
Yes.
for scenarios.
Yeah. And sometimes it's so important. Like that is like the key
really
thing, which
is.
sounds easy, but it's like so many people don't do it. And it's like, just
You just
return
need
calls
someone.
and be there.
I know. You just need, but you need one point of contact. I
Yeah.
mean, Francis has been so good too. And like, we sort of want to, you know, if I call him, he'll pick up. When he calls me, I'll pick up. And just relationships in this game is just so critical. And I think that's been part of our success too, is because working in the industry so long, you know so many people.
Yes.
Like if you need to get a deal done, there is always someone you can call to figure out how to do it. But yeah, I think being a BDM background too, like I know how important that relationship piece is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to have you here that we know we can call if we ever need any help. Yeah, having one point of contact helps.
Yeah, big time. I'd love to hear a bit about sort of what's your long-term goals for the business. Where do you guys sort of want to get to?
This is like the $1 million question at the moment, because every time we get somewhere, we're like, we thought we'd just be happy with no staff in the beginning. And now it's like, I kind of want to get to the point where I'm not writing anymore.
Yeah.
And we've got a team under me. But Elle and I are not quite on the same page yet. Like she's like, I don't mind writing those, and she's quite happy to. I don't know what's next. We need to sit down and have a good goal. We were so good at doing this in the early days, but everything we achieved, we're like, well, what is next?
What's next?
Yeah. But I think growing the Medico business, I mean, that's growing itself and we're not even trying there. So there is so much potential there.
Okay.
I think eventually we'd like to separate those two companies, but that comes with challenges because we can't write for both. So one of us would have to be representing that one and one on Two Birds. Yep. And then obviously you'd want to individually be staffing each as a separate entity. So that's probably on the list for 2026. At the moment, we're writing all of those to our business and it's working quite well. But I think, the long-term goal is that will be its own entity with its own staff and team and office potentially. We just fitted out an office last year and it's we've filled it. So there's no room for anyone else now.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know the thought of doing that again.
Yeah.
Elle's like, I just not. We feel like we've just fitted it out. But anyway, it's so convenient where we are. We're like right in the heart of Glenorrey. We both live 10 minutes from the office. The kids are at school across the road. So I think, for now we'll just stick it out there. And if anyone comes on board, it might be more of a remote position. So I don't know. We'll just keep growing. We'll just probably without like meaning to. I think we're forced to. So I'm like, there's only so much we can do. There's only two of us writing and the leads we're getting in, we had 15 approvals last week. Yeah. We've had I don't know, we've probably had another 10 leads just in the first 3 days this week. So
wow. It's a machine now.
It is, Even, I mean, the marketing's helping probably, but we're not even trying now. Like we've hit that beautiful point where it's like, they just come through and we don't have to go looking. If we went looking, I just keep thinking, imagine if we tried to get more leads. So we need more people to write them. So a lone writer potentially and isolating the two companies. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is exciting.
And I guess I want to get your thoughts. So I guess on what historically has been a male-dominated industry. Do you have any comments, about how you found that?
I think being minority is a strength for us. I think we attract a lot of people because of the fact that we are all female. We almost hired a male recently and it didn't end up working out. But we sort of positioned ourselves in a very female brand, and I don't know, would a man even want to work with us? I'm not sure, but we're open to it. Maybe in the investing for doctors business. But I don't know. I actually think it's a strength. I'm not threatened by it at all. I think that we probably attract a lot of people because we are all female. There are a lot of we deal with so many women who have come out of cheating and abusive relationships and trying to separate properties and or rebuy into the market, and they need that nurturing person who's not going to make them feel so just to make them feel seen and heard and someone who they can relate to. So I think our stats on Facebook recently showed that 75% of our audience is females in our age bracket, like 30 to 40. So we do just naturally attract women, and I don't think there's I'm not concerned that we're in the minority. I think it'd be good if more women could get into the industry, but I understand why they don't, because most of them one-man band, young kids. Yeah. If I didn't have Elle to do it with, this would look very different. Like we have really been such a critical partnership to make it to get to where we are today.
That's great. We're almost out of time. I just wanted to understand, I mean, it's a pretty crowded market. There's more resi brokers joining the market every day. Is there anything, I guess, that you guys see that's been a differentiator or unique that you're doing, and maybe any advice for brokers around sort of how to differentiate in a crowded market?
Well, I think branding is so critical to standing out, and that's why we went with something that was a bit outside of the box. Yeah. Branding, that honestly, like when we meet people now and they're like, oh, two birds, and they're like, oh, I've heard of you. Yeah. It happens more than what you realize. Yeah. In the Hills District, I feel like everyone's heard of us, whereas if we had a company called, I don't know, like just something plain, I'm not sure we would stand out so much. Okay. So I think the branding has been a critical part to cutting through and making a few waves in what otherwise is, it's a bit of a boring sort of industry, finance. Yeah. So just keeping it fun, and the marketing, and not that we've only just sort of really ramped that up, but we've always been sort of known for doing good marketing, even though we weren't putting a lot into it, we weren't investing a lot into it. But I think a lot of brokers don't put anything into it. Like a lot of them aren't even on social media, and I think in this day and age, if you're wanting to grow and you're wanting to get your name out there, like when I look at a company, the first thing I go to is like Google reviews. I'll look at online profiles, like are they current, are they posting, are they, whereas I think, there's plenty that just don't have time for it, which I get, but it's just so important, I think, in this day and age. Like people will look at your website, they'll look at your social media, they want to know who you are, and we've always put ourselves on it so that when people come to us, they already feel like they know us because we just put ourselves out there. Yeah. It's not that easy if you're someone who might be a bit introverted or shy of being on camera and whatnot. Yeah. But I think it's so important to just put yourself out there. Elle still now to this day will not watch anything of herself. I don't want to know. But we're now at the point where Amelia will put these things out before we've even seen them. Okay. Like we're so removed, I don't care, just put it out. Yeah. No one's judging you more than you're judging yourself. Yeah. So I think it's just important to put yourself out there and take on opportunities. Like we got tasked to present at the Connective National Conference last year. No female has ever accepted it. So we were the first to do it. And I think because we had each other, we felt like we can do that. Leading up to it, I barely slept for like 6 months. It was so stressful. It was like a 45-minute keynote that we had to do, but we took it on. Yeah. And I'm so glad we did, even though I think I nearly had a stroke at the end of it. It was so hard and so stressful, but we prepared, we got Nancy's help. Just got to take on opportunities like that, because if you do, people will know you, the word will get out, your brand will get seen and heard. And, I think most people are scared to do stuff like that. And I get it because it's terrifying, but even things like this, but you've just got to do it. Yeah. Yeah. If you want your brand to be out there, you have to be out there yourself. Yeah. Yeah. And
like you say, it's tough for the first 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, but then each one gets easier.
It does. Yeah. Yeah. And like I did it again. Elle was in Paris and she couldn't do it. And we committed to it. And then she's like, I booked a flight to Paris the day before. I'm like, thank you. I got to do this one on my own. But I did. And like you said, it was not nearly as terrifying as that one in Melbourne. Like the Connective one was like full auditorium, like terrifying. Yeah. But every time you do it, you relax a little bit more. You can do it. It's just that fear of doing it for the first time that you've just got to push through. Yeah. It's just, you just got to do it. But if you're really wanting to get your name out there, I just think a lot of people are like, no, I'm not doing that. No way. Just do it. It's scary, but it's actually quite exhilarating once you get it done.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Look, thank you. We're out of time today, unfortunately, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for your, courage and being open. And, it's a real inspiration, I think, for a lot of people joining the industry and coming through in the industry. So
just got to stick through the hard days and push on, because it does pay off at the end of the day. It just takes a while.
Love that. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, James.